Welcome one, welcome all back to the Expo Hall. It's Pretty Hair, it's Hi-Rez once again. He was on Twitter. We got a lot of new things for you here today. You've seen Battlegrounds hopefully a couple times throughout the course of this event. I'm here today in my four-piece suit. Thank you so much. And Hi-Rez, you're rocking something a little bit special. Merchandise.game. They have sponsored the prize pool of today's event. The very special, we're gonna have probably multiple games of Paladins Battlegrounds going on. And I couldn't be more excited. Did you take a selfie over there? What are you doing?
I'm reading Twitch chat.
Twitch chat?
Yeah. I want to see if they want something special.
If they want something special, we've got it here for them. We're going to be playing as much Paladins Battlegrounds as we can possibly fit in before the start of the Paladins World Championship Finals. Fnatic and Nodus Vincere will be squaring off in about an hour or so, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. But first, if this is your first time joining us, you've really been missing out up until this point. We've got a brand new game mode in Paladins, and Hi-Rez, tell us a little bit about what you've got cooking up.
It's a 100-person Battle Royale mode.
100.
In this particular case today, we have how many people playing?
I believe we have 72-ish is what I normally see when we get into lobby.
Actually, we have...
Maybe more. 92.
92 today.
We turned it up to 11.
All right. It's as many stations
92.
as we can muster during the show floor. So 92 people will be playing online for these next 2, 3, 4 matches that we get in. They are in teams of 4 in this particular format. When the game starts up, they'll choose their classes.
Awesome.
And then it's off to the races.
So we've got a couple of twists on some Paladins mechanics you might know or you might recognize. There is no item store in this game mode. Instead, it's a whole new item system that you guys have cooked up special for this specific mode.
In this mode, you run around and you find the loot to give you all the strong stuff, and it's very strong. What we're looking for specifically are the legendary cards. The legendary cards drop from Zeppelins, and if you get those, you get to be extra powerful because they are ridiculously overpowered cards.
As is anything, guys. And of course, no Paladins Battlegrounds tournament would be complete without Hi-Rez Joe. There he is, Big Joe Guns Mahoney in the back. The two-time back-to-back Battleground champion. He fell a little short yesterday. He made a damn good run. And you might recognize him right there on the desk. We've got a couple of special guests as well scattered around the Expo Hall. Bitey is around, Incon's around. They've put a team together, and they're going to give this one a shot. You also saw up there on that last graphic, you know, there is still those traditional mechanics from the Battle Royale, the Death Fog that encroaches, that closes in. And like Hi-Rez mentioned, here are
and here's the start.
The
8 characters, 2 damage, 2 flank, 2 front line, 2 support. They are picked out of a random pool. Joe is going to be selecting one. Who do you want to see today? Do you want to see him maybe play Ruckus?
We've got Ruckus. We haven't seen him play a frontliner yet.
Well, we'll give him a choice between Ruckus.
His team has 3 frontliners.
Cassie, Ruckus,
they do need a support. I'm just saying, if you want to go the support.
You know, there's no need for support.
We're beefing it up.
Come on.
Brother.
Come on, Hi-Rez Joe. He's going to play Ruckus. He played Kinessa for us so far.
This is fun, though. This is fun. This is
and
teammate Bitey. Look, he's up on his pro account
playing?
there. He's got Cassie.
Bitey's playing Cassie. All
and
right.
He's got the Borkers by his side. The coach ready to take these boys to victory. He has got, I got to say, this is dangerous because they've got a professional flex player in their back line with 3 beef castles, 3 frontliners in front of Coach Bitey. He is going to be a difficult target to take down.
And that's what's a lot of fun in this match, too, because you can select more than one of the same class.
Yeah.
So you can have ridiculous compositions. And there are items to counter ridiculous compositions as well. So if you decided to go old Grovers, as we've seen one of the matches, the Grover Kill Squad from several days ago, they can get countered by a no-heal type of card.
Yeah, and similar to that, this composition, 3 frontliners, a lot of shielding, of course, they're going to be leaning on. And there is items that do provide similar effects to like Wrecker. So if they run into somebody with that, they are going to
the shields will get wrecked because it's 250, 400%, I think, damage to shields. Some other numbers that are exceptionally strong that way. So as the game starts, various players will get into the match. There will be a holding spot for them. And,
oh boy, this is going to be awesome, man.
Usually we get the jumps.
This is going to be really interesting because as we get in a game, There is 92 players. Lionheart with his glasses up there, locked in, ready to go.
Look, he's taking this very seriously. He wants his plushie McCoy, I think.
Lionheart's a hell of a player, too. Some of these devs, you know, they've come and gone from the scene, some of them coming as casters.
And here we are. We are joining.
This is a very special
So
part.
this is probably Joe, right?
Of any
Dancing
battle
on
round.
the
Now
hill.
spectating Hi-Rez Joe. There he is, the Beef Castle himself. And there are some items, some that you may recognize from the item store in traditional Paladins, some that you may not. There's going to be some defensive items that just give you flat health percentage based off of your base HP. Of course, these are going to work best when scaling up with a front line. So if Joe and his squad are getting outfitted in the types of items that they have been getting outfitted with all weekend long, they are going to be really, really difficult to take down.
Is it obligatory to jump during this phase?
I think so at this point. The Battle Royale lobby is very sacred. This is open mic, 100 players blasting their music, shouting at each other, letting them know. This seems to be the most popular spot, this hill. There's a lot of other things going on. There's a couple structures, and what are those blimps, those zeppelins in the back line there?
Yeah, those will help transport each team to their proper location. This, unlike some of the other modes in other Battle Royale games, they tend to drop from the sky. With
just one trajectory.
Yeah, we bring you more to one of the
zone.
locations. You can see this is the mini-map with highlighted areas. And they selected an area to drop at. It will bring your entire team to the selected area and drop you there so you can stay as a team.
There it is. And so you can actually see a couple of red dots polka dotting around the map. That is, in fact, other teams where they are dropping. So if aggression, early action frags are what you seek, Paladins Battlegrounds will enable you to do so beautifully. Hitting the ground, immediately we see Joe hop on his mount and get straight to the loot.
And he gets himself a green. Let's see, he's got 3 greens at this point. Those are very low-level loot.
Those are base level items.
Base level items. They don't provide that many stats, but they're better than nothing. Past greens, you will then get blues, which are about double the stats of the greens.
Okay.
Past that, you get the purples, which are again about double the stats of the blues.
And there we see that right there. Joe's picked up a blue. It's same stat as his previous boots.
And then past that, you will get legendaries, which are again more than double.
Fight? I think I hear a fight going on, Joe.
Already, right? There are people fighting them.
Uh-oh, Joe's going for a big flank here. This could get ugly for this Pip. Trying to retreat up the stairs. Weightless is popped, but he's run straight into Joe. He doesn't realize what's happened.
Oh,
there's chickens running all around, and as Joe cleans up the squad, there's the hell are chickens doing in the battleground?
Well, you know, when you die, this is a fantasy land, and you turn into a chicken first. And you can be revived from a chicken. Your teammates can revive you at that point.
So down but not out is the chicken state.
The chicken state is down or not out. You slowly bleed out.
Okay.
So that means that if nobody revives you the next, let's say, 30 seconds or whatever time it may be, you will still perish. But if you do get revived, you can come back from the chicken state and
get back in the action. Get back in the looting here. You're seeing
still looking for more loot.
Red arrows pointing down, green arrows pointing up, beige arrows, and a recycled symbol there. So that's just a quick way to tell between an upgrade, a downgrade, or a side grade for that respective slot. If you have to loot in the heat of battle, like we saw Joe do, he actually hot swapped his weapon out to double the stats. He picked up a blue instead of a green and went back to fragging. See, those are both red arrows pointing down, meaning downgrades for their respective slots.
He still has no epics, and they
No,
still have
Joe's off to a much worse start than he typically is.
Yeah, and they haven't gone after legendaries yet, which I'm surprised at. If you hit the mini-map, a lot of times you will see a spot with a legendary. Now, there are more people playing today than there were yesterday, so it's going to be harder to get some of those items.
They're learning.
Yeah, everybody knows to go for the legendaries now, so it's much harder to get them.
T-Road and one of the...
The Zeppelins do drop once every minute.
Okay.
So legendaries are readily available, but you do have to find them. They are usually a strong point of contention because everybody can see where they're dropping. And there's
ooh, this man's got himself an epic, but he does lack a boot slot. And you're seeing 50% max health as well as lifesteal coming through. So not one, but 2 stats once you get to that epic tier of loot. Interesting stuff there, interesting combinations, and so
70 people remaining. We've got 20 or so people killed.
68
so far. One thing you do have to remember for those of you that do play Paladins now, this map is about 300 to 400 times the size of a normal Paladins map. and there's a lot of area to explore. This is an alpha stage, or it says pre-alpha, which means that we're still populating the map a lot more and doing various work to get it to where we want it to be.
Ooh, they're hunting down that little purple chest icon on their map that has just appeared.
That purple chest icon is a legendary drop. It usually draws a lot of players to it.
Quick loot, double check. Joe doesn't need anything from that box.
I think the expression might be flies to honey or something like that. Is that
like moth to a flame.
Like a moth to a flame. That's actually a much better expression because it is a dangerous area. You come too close to it, there's usually big fights over it.
And we'll have to see that.
Now Joe just showed us, we looked down at the map, that was literally the size of an entire one of the maps in the Siege. Those building sets that you saw.
That was one of the building sets,
that was
right?
One of the building sets.
That was part of the
and
fish
there's
market.
The Zeppelin. There's the Zeppelin in the back.
There it is. Joe spotted it out. He's running after it. He's calling for the group up. Yes, follow me, help, help. He's going to hit him with the VGS. Mark the map. Actually, wow, that dropped really close to them. So as soon as Joe crests the hill, he and his squad are going to be able to hop into this legendary chest and see what it's got for them.
And there's usually a purple beam that comes out of the chest.
There it is.
So obviously, there it is.
What does that mean?
That noise is the fog converging. Are they going to let Joe have it? No, somebody else took it.
Snap.
Too late, Joe. Too late.
It was probably Bitey.
Too late. Oh, he wants to swap
it, noob. I am Joe. I am the primary. And talk about that, though. There is some strategy behind who gets what in Paladins Battlegrounds.
Now, you could have different strategies. One would be take your best player or a particular type of class that you think is going to dominate using this particular group comp and provide them with all the legendaries. Or you could just be greedy and keep them all for yourself, whoever gets there first.
Exactly. So we're looking at a bit of a different comp. Joe's played with a balanced composition every time. He played some long range. He played some short range. He played by himself. But this time they've got Bitey driving the back line. They've got 3 frontliners. So depending on what they find in this chest, say it's the weapon slot, it's going to provide damage, lifesteal, anti-heal, wrecker, damage to shields, that type of effects. Maybe that is best suited for Bitey, but if it was something like a chest piece that's going to give additional health, lifesteal, increased healing from other players, maybe that is a little bit better for Joe as he holds down the front line.
Now, I do have to say, for the most part, you want to keep those legendaries.
They're not going to be easy to let go.
Maybe if you have a tank, you don't want to give him the 100% extra damage legendary, and you want to give that to your DPS.
Wow, look at that. 50% max health. The Jacket of Glory also providing 1,000 health on a kill. So kill to heal 3 1/3 essentially is what Joe's rocking. And we talked about the stats, how they work on the items. The base tier, which is green, that's the common item. That is the lowest. That's the starting point. They're going to give you 1 stat. Blue will double that particular stat. Purple will further increase it as well as add 1 new stat. And then hopefully if we can get a legendary on Joe here, we'll be able to see what that item will provide.
There's another legendary. You see that purple beam in the sky?
There it is.
That's another legendary. Now it might be attracting another team. And
quick peek around.
Let's see how fast they grab it away from Joe. Yep.
Bitey went right in there
boom,
and he scooped it.
Bitey knows what's going on.
I hate you.
This is becoming a standard game.
But frankly, that is exactly what we're going to be expecting. Uh-oh.
The fog is in. They better get out of there.
They got to get going. Thank God they have their mounts. There's a Zeppelin. But they are on what is called the fast side of the fog, depending on where the next play zone is actually marked. 1/2. See, up there on the other side of the circle, that's the slow side as the fog is actually closest to the new play zone. They are on the far fast side, so they have to hop on their mounts here if they want to escape certain doom. I also noticed Joe's missing some health, and he's not getting out of combat regen while on his horse.
While on your own mount, you will not regen health, but if he drops off the mount, he'll start healing again.
Wow, so you can't... Man, I just got to say, more and more, I'm liking all of these things that are incentivizing aggression. They, are definitely neglecting that passive play. You can't just run around for the entirety of the match and expect to survive. You'll slowly get chipped down.
There was a battle somewhere around here because there's some chests in the open. That usually means a battle, and sure enough, there's another team.
There it is, Joe and the boys. Bitey looking to engage. They've got 1 Ruckus up on the hill. Cassie is well firing. There's a Pip up there as well. Fernando's still pretty healthy. He's going to be pushing the issue here. Joe and his squad have already found 2. He doesn't want to remain stationary for too long if he can help it. Fernando.
This is the other side. This is the other side of the team.
This is, no, this is still on their team. They're pushing up closer, though, to actually the Cassie. This Ruckus
you're right.
It looks like a 3. They've got 1 teammate straggling. Somebody needs to get in this fight. One of the other Ruckus players. They're falling Pretty low there. These guys may have just claimed some of the loot. Fernando,
up your
900
shield.
health. He's
Oh!
going to be put into the chicken state down, but not out. Joe has lost one of his teammates now. One of the Ruckus is being taken down. It's just Joe and Bitey
But
left
he
alive.
did revive him.
Joe gets him back up. This is Fernando. He's going to get out of the combat, get his regeneration pulling. They'll have another chance. One of their teammates just lagging a little bit too far behind out of this fight. Bitey's about half HP. There's the Hexafire from the top rope, but it doesn't connect on him much. Nice job. Fernando has baited in this other Ruckus player. Bitey doing his best behind Joe to try and win this fight. They've gotten a couple of easy frags, but this is a much harder fight. They've lost their Fernando. 2 players remain. This was a 4v3 originally, but Joe and Bitey, they are not liking this fight. Joe's calling for the retreat. But I don't know if Bitey's going to be able to get out of there in time. He looks like he might be committed to this fight. Bitey at about 60% or so HP. Joe has gone full rogue. He has abandoned Bitey, and that is just rough.
This is the team
to
they're
see.
fighting.
It is Bitey turned into a chicken, taken down, and the captain of SK already falling. 25 players remain.
Well, this is the other team.
This is the other team. They just took down everyone.
Only Joe left. Now, here's the thing. The other team was more balanced. You notice they had a pip, probably
They did.
healed.
They had heals.
They had some heals on them.
It's a risk.
In this particular format, you probably want to have some of everything.
Oh, baby, Joe. We've seen him in this position before, cold and alone.
Now,
His
you will
team
be
no longer
able to
with him.
play this in some additional formats, like a 2-man team. So there will be different styles of gameplay to it due to the number of players that are on.
Joe is just not enjoying the luxury of the loot he's had during his 2-time back-to-back World Championship run here in the Expo Hall in Paladins Battlegrounds. And Ayers, this is not a separate client. This is not a separate download. This is just another mode in Paladins.
It's free to play, and it's just a mode in Paladins. So all of your skins will work on it. Any cards that you've gotten will work in it.
Legendaries, loadouts, things you're used to seeing. And there's a nice shot. We've got this squad. They've cleaned up 3 already. This actually, I believe, was the squad that took down Joe. Joe's still alive, but Bitey and that squad did fall to the wayside. 2 epics for this Cassie right here. Looking for the shots. He's got 4 frags. Nice cleanup from him. They're well within the play zone. Joe's just got to play this one slow. And he's basically praying and hoping that when this gets down to the wire, he can either get lucky, swoop into a fight that's going on between 2 other teams. But if he runs into the 1v4 situation that he did yesterday, I just don't know if he'll be able to pull it out.
Well, what he needs to do is look for teams that are fighting and then help them fight each other and clean up.
Ooh, this is a nice little fight going on here. This is the revive state. So as long as this chicken holds still, your teammates can hold R and press and get you back up. Pip's going to get up. He's going to hop in right back into the action.
And there's back to Joe in the wilderness.
Joe in the wilderness riding around. And he getting it, just looking for that legendary chest. That's a purple beam, meaning it's unlooted Joe. He's going to have to get geared if he wants to have a chance.
I think there are some other players there. There might be just one, though. Maybe he can do a fast swap.
He can.
Can he do the fast swap?
He's going to go
somebody already took it.
Epic.
Oh, if he can take down this person, he'll probably get the legendary from them.
They have it. Looking for it.
Oh,
Joe's.
nice missiles.
This is probably a pretty favorable range for Joe to fight at, as well as being uphill. Willow, a projectile-based character, but she is really taking it to him. 3,200 HP, about 50% of the way there. And Joe's not going to be getting that out-of-combat regen. I think he realizes this. Chooses to dismount, but he's running into some more trouble. He's got to get downhill. He's going to try to mount up around this tree. If he can get downhill, clear line of sight, he'll do it.
Run, Joe, run.
Onto the horse once again, but hit scan. Ruckus is going to be able to take him down, or at least off his mount from a long distance. 20 players remain, and Joe running out of room to work with.
And we are hoping to let everybody start testing this in about 2 months from now.
Somewhere during the first quarter, what I think we heard in the keynote. This is Ruckus outfitted, a little heavier than Joe. He's got a full team around him. And that's going to prove very useful. He's got his ultimate available as well. And talk about how the ultimate economy works in this game mode as opposed to a traditional Paladins PC match. Are they going to be charging over time passively, or do you have to engage in combat to get these ultimates out?
To get the ultimates, you have to fight. Now, you see Joe actually built up. No, that's not Joe.
That is not Joe. That is the team
player
that killed him.
That's the team that killed him, and he has an ultimate ready. You typically only get 1 or maybe 2 ultimates
really?
if you even last 25 minutes of the typical match time for this. There's 19 players left, and it looks like this is a full team. There have been a few, since we've shown this mode at the show here, there have been several teams who have been playing nonstop, just about.
Grinding, waiting
And
for the
they
opportunity.
they know what to do at this point.
Joe does not have his ultimate. He's got this Sarah's poked pretty low. I like his chances here. He's running out of HP.
Oh. You know, it was a good try, but there was just too many there. And
oh, God. And the slide, the corpse down the mountain.
That was the end of Joe. Maybe next match we'll let him pick whatever he wants.
Utter humiliating defeat. But that's the beauty of the mode, Hi-Rez, is that the 8 champions they have this round could be a completely fresh batch in the next.
Every match, it's 8 random champions, and therefore you're going to have a different experience each time.
Maybe they'll be looking to form a little bit of a different composition next time around. They went for a 3 front line, 1 damage. They didn't have a lot of mobility to work with. They didn't have any sustain. Frankly, they just got a little bit split up at the start. If they had engaged as a unit.
Yeah, I think if they had the 4 people there fighting that initial fight, they could have taken that.
I think they could have
and
as well.
They especially needed, whoever had the legendaries there, needed to.
Right.
They needed to pull through. Now, we don't know what the legendaries were because they picked them up and left. So it may have been just purely defensive legendaries, which they should have given a tank at that particular point. But if it's plus 100 damage, that should have gone to the DPS.
Reloading. 1 frag. This squad's found their first. They have the mother load. That is a big, bad damage legendary. 100% additional damage, as well as having the effects of what is essentially Wrecker 3 in the traditional item store. This poor Ruckus just lost a teammate. Convergence was just used by this Sarah. She's sitting either at or not even. I mean, I guess she's literally not fighting. This goes to show there's a lot of things in Paladins Battlegrounds that reward the aggressive play. You can hunt other players down. You know exactly where the airdrops are going to be, as well as you're not gaining passive ultimate charge. So if you want your biggest, baddest ability, you're going to have to fight for it, as well as the fact that you will not receive your out-of-combat regeneration if you're running away on your horse. You have to be 10 toes down to the battlefield to receive that.
And I do see some purple in the back, so it might be time to pick those up.
But look at this circle. I mean, the map is 300 times the size of a Paladins map, but it is quickly closing down.
Shrinking very quickly.
To a traditional, and you can see fog covering.
Here's a Cassie with 2 legendaries.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know what the legendaries are exactly.
That's the Motherlode, as well as the Eternal Plating. So it's got, on the Motherlode, we just talked about it, team of 4 versus 3 here. Good odds. 4,300, 4,400 lifesteal, additional health from other players. So you're looking at life rip, rejuvenate, as well as the fact that it just increases Cassie's base HP health to 4,400. The Motherlode, her offensive weapon slot items giving her plus 100% damage, anti-heal, damage to shields. It's all available for this Cassie. They do not have the means to fight this. This is an uphill battle, both literally and figuratively.
Cassie's like a mini tank right now.
She does have 40 and the 30% lifesteal. So if this squad doesn't have an anti-heal item in their weapon slot, she is going to have her way with them.
Well, the problem is
very careful about how they engage.
It is 2 versus 3, and we don't know.
Oh no, this was a 4v3 turned into a 4v2.
Well,
so
now that's a different team.
That's one off. Okay.
That's a 4-person
Well, we've only got 10 players remaining. This is a top 10 situation. The fog. Next play zone marked, closing in 23 seconds. They're looking for the pop shots here. This Cassie, she's going to have great chip damage as a result of that legendary weapon slot.
Look at those hits.
Big frag. 9 players remaining. Someone's gone down. A Buck found a pip somewhere off. 8 players remaining. People are starting to fall. That Ruckus is low HP. Turn into a chicken. But Cassie, prioritization here is important. She's not worried about those chickens. They'll die. They'll expire on their own. What happens if this fog touches the chickens?
Instant chicken death.
They cannot be picked up down, but not out. Turned to down for good.
Look
Quick
at
check
and
for the loot. There it is.
The first win goes to team.
Those guys.
Those guys.
Those guys. Hey, those guys
back there.
Real quick before you queue up those guys, come on down here.
Maybe we can get a camera on them. They can get their moment of glory.
To the desk. That is their moment of glory. They're up on stage. Wave to the camera, boys. You've earned it. We've got a couple of prizes here.
There's the winner team.
Merchandise.game sponsoring the prize pool for today's Paladins Battlegrounds tournament. We've got a couple of coupons down here for the winners. Come on down, boys, off the stage. You earned it. They had that nice balanced composition. They had their Pip. They had their Cassie. There they are, the first winners. But that's not all. We've played, but one game.
Nice job, everyone.
Here in the Expo Hall. For the most, a handshake from the CEO. I don't know how I'm going to follow that up.
Give him the...
Come on around here, boys.
Give them the goods.
Give them their goods. Merchandise.game coupons for you.
Everybody gets one.
Head over to their booth. They've got all kinds of great products here. We've got a couple on the desk. Congratulations. Now get your butts back on stage.
And the bigger question is, was it
fun?
fun?
Get another W.
It was a lot of fun. Great.
All righty.
We are going to go into a next game.
We have one winner crown. That's right.
Fairly soon.
We're going to keep on playing here until it is time for the PWC Finals, the first main stage event at the Hi-Rez Expo 2018. So far, so good, though. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And those were the 8 characters we had to pick from. We may see a whole new batch, and hopefully maybe a more balanced composition from our squad.
It's up to them.
It is up to them.
We're going to leave it up to them at this point.
Always up
we're
to
not
you.
even going to give Joe a suggestion this time.
So, first big project, you change the game with Smite, the traditional scope of what a MOBA can be. You're working in all these crazy mechanics to these hero shooters to make it the Hi-Rez way, and now the Battleground, the Battle Royale genre. Not safe from the twists and turns of Erez Goran, is it?
We just try to give the players what they want.
A fun fusion here, something completely different, not yet seen. It's turning a lot of heads. People are very curious. People are excited. People love the genre of the hero shooter. People love the genre of the Battle Royale. Why not bring them together in perfect harmony? That's what we're about here at Hi-Rez Studios. I'm Pretty Hair in the 4-piece suit, brought to you by Merchandise.game. Erez Goran, he's rocking some of these. These are the things, of course, that they have got for us here at the Hi-Rez Expo. They are fighting for not only these, we'll probably give these away or something to the winners, but of course we're making it rain with some coupons up here because they got to pick some of that up.
That is raining.
It is in fact raining. The desk.
All right, let's do a few Makoa polls. How close are we to starting a new match?
We're getting in there. We're getting there. We got our plushie Makoa.
This was
a long time coming. We're seeing a lot of cool, the merchandise game here for Paladins definitely stepping up. The plushie Makoa is something we've seen a while back, but that was just like the one prototype. I believe our art director, Thomas Holt, holds that on his desk. This is actually something you can pick up now. Removable cannonball. No replacements, though, so don't lose this one. That is, that's just action-packed. Game.merchandise. They're really stepping it up for us here in the Expo Hall. We've also got a pretty sweet Androxus statue floating around, but that is also, that's in the prototyping stage. This guy, he's available widely now.
And we do have 92 players, I think, of stations.
92.
The XP Hall. The
XP, Expo,
HRX
it's
Expo
all
Hall.
good, babe. We got a lot of X's and O's.
So we do want to give some.
We're dotting I's. We're crossing T's up here.
We do have some players that wanted to get on, so we swapped some stations, and getting everybody ready with that many stations takes a couple of minutes, but it should be starting very soon.
I have an idea, Erez. Tell me what you think about this idea. We'll sit along with Twitch chat here. You've got Twitch chat up on your phone. Why don't we let Twitch chat pick the composition, or Joe's champion?
Yeah, we could do that.
That sound like fun?
Yeah.
We've got a fresh new batch
Probably
of
just
8.
type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's
chat.
right. We'll go exactly from left to right. We'll number the champions off 1 through 8. And you can pick, maybe Joe, maybe Bitey will let us pick his character as well. We're looking for a fresh batch, and I mean, hopefully Grover. Grover seems to be a pretty popular one, and also pretty effective when stacking multiples of the same composition. That is something you could do in Paladins Battlegrounds that is not necessarily traditional or something that you've seen before in Paladins.
I'm looking for the 4 barrack squad.
The big barrack.
And here we go.
All right, chat. 1 for
through
Vivian,
8.
2 for Ash, 3 for Evie, 4 for Fernando, 5 for Grok,
I see a lot
6
of
for Lex, 7 for
7s,
Saris,
8s.
8 for Victor. Twitch chat, let them know.
It's all over the place. We'll let
They
them pick
can't
whatever
even
he
see
wants.
the champions that we got to let that stream delay get through there. Looking for it. They've got a Victor. Bitey loves Victor. They've got a Saris as well.
Bitey is Victor. Joe, no, not the double Victor again.
Double Victor. Joe has chosen
The
for you,
greedy
Twitch chat.
builds, greedy. Well,
I'm seeing a decent amount of 8. I know y'all love Victor.
well, we do have 2 now.
We do have to double
Bitey
trouble, toil,
and Joe.
and trouble. Double Victor, Saris, as well as Ash. This is a good composition,
Yeah,
though.
this is a much more balanced
not
than
bad.
the previous composition.
I ain't mad at it. As well as we've got our hyper carries. We've got Joe, we've got Bitey on those fraggers.
Now, if they can get to the ultimate with Victor, I've seen it wipe out a team way, way in the distance, which was hilarious.
I remember that. That was actually Bugsy of Fnatic, who will be playing on the main stage later today for the Paladins World Championship. He's had a tough run through the losers bracket, but he needs one more. 4 victories stand between either of those squads and the ultimate glory. But for now, these teams are fighting for some lovely merchandise.game coupons and fun things up here on the desk.
All I can say is Victor Ultimate with a legendary 100% plus damage.
Oh, jeez.
That's
actually insane.
Is a very attractive combination.
That's actually insane. And it scales exactly. So not just your in-hand, but your grenade, your ultimate, any portion of your kit is going to receive that damage amplification. We saw, I believe it was actually, can't remember if it was Joe or not, but somebody was playing Genos. They had some damage amp in their item inventory, and they ripped a 3,600 damage through time and space through 3 people, instantly dropping 2 of them. That was a pretty one of the top ultimates I've definitely seen for this weekend.
And I did notice that Brian took his glasses off. And
so it's getting real.
Well, I think the glasses, he has shades on. He couldn't see the screen the previous game. That's why he didn't make it.
It's to block out the haters, but I think the hate fuels him. So he's going to elect to leave those off. He might be playing Victor as well. He's going to be able to need to see far. His glasses, they narrowed his vision. Bitey, he's up there. He's playing one of his absolute favorite characters, Slick Vic. He's got the Borkers by his side. He's ready to frag. We're in the pregame lobby now, and
here we go.
Hugging closely, 2,200 base HP, 91 players. Currently the most we have ever had in a Paladins Battlegrounds show match all across the weekend. We booted up every PC at our disposal to be able to do this in 30 seconds. Hi-Rez Joe.
This one is
soon.
We got an extra bonus free lunch.
A free lunch
on top of the free merchandise for
Thank
the winning
you
team.
To Nabil Ismail.
Nice.
He has just sweetened the pot.
The pot is getting larger
man,
every
he does
game.
it all. He'll feed you, take care of you.
How long before we have the first $100,000 Battlegrounds tournament?
You tell me, Pop. We got 5 seconds before these 90 players, these 90 champions drop in.
There we go.
Let's see if they pick
a spot. Now, if you notice all the little red dots on the lineup,
wow, look at bottom
what
left.
Other teams have decided to drop.
Bottom left is lit. There's like 8 squads dropping there.
So you've got to pick your spot because you don't necessarily want to go into.
Who gets to pick the spot?
It will be the leader. At the moment, I think whoever presses first.
Party leader. At the moment, whoever's quickest to the trigger, but party leader. This is a Battle Royale hero shooter fusion designed from the ground up to be played in squads of 4, as that is, of course, conducive to the hero shooter genre. So as a result, the party leader. So carefully choose that, of course. We'll be selecting where you drop legendaries, loadout cards, the champions, their kits, their abilities, their ultimates, all consistent with what you know, what you already love in traditional Paladins PC action.
Now, I do have to tell you, I was playing Victor one day, and I had a legendary card that gave me some additional movement speed. And I was literally running faster than the people on the mounts.
Oh, boy.
And firing.
That's nuts. Oh, yeah, because the movement speed, that is, you know, it's some level of nimble. Joe looking for the engagement. He's a little bit out in front of his squad right now. He's fighting in third person. Good clip. He's going to get his heal up from Saris. Joe, don't forget, you can swap to first person if that's going to make it easier for you, and that is something that you can do in this mode. You can 3-peek. They've already turned one into a chicken. 80 players remain. Joe's going to head up to the high ground here, concerned, looking for this frag, laying into Saris from the back. Grenade prime, grenade ready, but it's not going to connect. That chicken's hiding behind the chest. Proper target prioritization here from Joe. He's going to drop another chicken. But Joe, he's lost a teammate already. Bitey is dead again? Oh, no. But Joe lives. His other 2 teammates lives.
They should have resurrected him.
And that's just paying the iron price for aggression. The Battlegrounds is not for the weak, not for the faint of heart, not for the passive of play. Aggression is rewarded. Greed never wins, Bitey. Greed never wins. 2 in a row.
Trolling your own teammate.
Coach Bitey, SK's captain, not happy with his performance there.
Well, he's got
the Borker.
Yeah, he's got something to drown his sorrows in.
He can cry on that shoulder all he wants. But Joe, Saris and his Ashe, they've still got work to do.
Well, they do have the combination that they need.
They do have, yep, the core of their roster. They just lost some damage, and that's obviously not helping things. So far, teams of 4 have had the best chance. 2 quick upgrades there from Joe. He picks up a base green level weapon enhancement, immediately found. They're just gonna shoot Bitey's corpse, all that remains of SK's captain.
Now, when you die, you do drop a chest with all your items in it, and other members can loot it, including your own team.
So any chest it's an interactable thing, right? So if I run up to a legendary chest, but I've got an epic, my teammate doesn't have anything, right? I'm gonna pick up that legendary, sure, because I earned it.
And they can pick up the epic.
Exactly, and that epic will go straight into the chest. It will take the place of whatever it is you just picked up in that chest. Your teammates can scope it, but make sure you communicate that. If you're not, on voice comms with your teams, let them know, epic chest, this, dropped right here.
Now,
so
I do need to make a confession that during one of the games, my partner was very greedy and picked up 2 legendaries. He did not share.
And what'd you do?
I kind of let him die, and then I picked up his legendaries.
Oh, it would be just such a shame. No, I'm trying my best to help you.
No, somehow I wasn't.
All right, well, if you don't need these anymore, let me just take these.
Yeah.
I'll be on my way.
Yeah, that was
Great playing with you. Better luck next time. All viable strategies.
Did happen.
Ooh, and there it is. There's the communication, right? They let Joe know we've got the crystal here, the epic weapon slot item. He's going to go ahead and pick that up. Frankly, he's just probably the best one to have that. Even if you're not necessarily the best player, it is going to supplement Victor very well. As well as you look at the composition. Ashe doesn't have a very long range. She's got the AoE blast with a pretty low damage. Saris, slow projectile base that are going to penetrate everything. But Victor's a hit scan character, meaning you just have to get that crosshair over them. You let it rip. And if you're on them, you're going to hit them. So he's got the most consistent damage. He's got the best range. He's just going to be able to leverage that item the best in the squad. And it just makes sense for Joe to have it.
Now, he is going a little bit solo-ish here towards... No,
he's got Ashe.
His teammates are there. Okay.
They responded.
So they are going to... They see a legendary.
Ooh.
There it is.
Purple beam.
The big purple beam in the sky.
It's unlooted. Lionheart is, in fact, Joe's Saris.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's good.
If Lionheart's
a hell of a player.
Lets him have...
Uh-oh. This one's been looted. Unless Joe scooped it already.
Joe probably scooped it.
Joe probably scooped it. And that was boots, so that means that is the World Stompers double armor, 100% increased armor, 30% move speed, 45% mount speed.
Now, if I were him, I would actually given that to one of the other characters.
Really?
Well, if he's not in the front line, Ashe should have that.
I agree. I actually agree with you there. Ashe would probably be best suited for that, as she does have that lower range engagement range, so she is going to be able to need to get close the gap.
Because
as well as on the horse and on foot.
Well, that armor reduces things by 50%.
Ooh. I'll take that. There's an engagement over that. These guys want that legendary loot as well. Joe, aim down sights, reload. Quick reload there comes out from Joe. He's ripping apart this squad. And that is just the price they paid, dropping Barrage, 2,300 damage. This squad didn't know what hit him. First to the loot crate, first hands on the legendary, and 4 kills for Hi-Rez Joe.
They had very little loot in that squad, so they're not getting much.
Oh my, look at that reload speed. They're seeing it. There's another Victor fighting up there.
I would still
reload speed.
I would still
wow,
give Ashe,
that's clutch.
I would still give Ashe that movement speed / armor.
The boots, right? Yeah, the boots could still go to Ashe. The reload speed, that is freaking critical for Joe. Are they splitting up right now? Joe has, I think, split off his Ashe, and his Saris need them. Joe, pay attention to the squad. Lionheart, they're doing okay right now. They're pretty healthy. Up onto the mount. He's doing his best to fall away. Joe's at about half HP. Lionheart's doing his best to get back to his squad. It's a 3v4, so uneven footing, but this is a good fight to watch because Joe just has great loot. He's got an epic in his weapon slot. He's got the legendary gloves. He's got the legendary boots, the World Stompers. He's got the anti-heal, keeping a lid on what this Grok's able to do to sustain himself. He is letting the grenades fly from the high ground, but Joe, you have to remember your teammates are being flanked. He's recharged it again. Barrage incoming. Joe, 1, 2, 3 shots. He turns one of the chicken. He evens up the fight. 3-3. Another chicken down on the low ground. Target swap from Joe to focus on the players that remain. The legendary loot It was a 4 versus 3, but Joe and his squad, they're going to come out on top. And eternal plating, 3 for 3, but no, action is not over yet. Another grenade comes out. Joe looking for the reposition, 4,400 HP. Nice heal from Lionheart to keep him healthy. Lionheart, he's in a bit of a situation.
Another ultimate.
He is 94% morale boost. That's a target you might see
there
on
it
some
is.
of there.
He's
it
got
is.
another
Barrage
ultimate.
Incoming. Joe dropping his 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th shell onto the battlefield this game. They've lost one, it looks like. HRX44. No, Ash comes ripping back into the fray. She was revived, in fact, by Lionheart. Nice job repositioning. Trying to get through this shield right now. 20% towards his next ultimate grenade. It's going to come out. Joe absolutely ripping apart this squadron. 4 versus 3. They attempted a challenge, but they just didn't realize the heat that Hi-Rez Joe was packing. He's going to clean that one up. Man. Ares, that is the power. How many people did they just rip through? That is the power of the aggression. That is the power of the pace that Joe's squad is playing at. They are reaping the rewards of the risks that they have taken. They have gone around hunting but the legendary loots, finding those frags. They have dropped 10 players.
And remember, every team has the same opportunities as every other team in a match to have whatever comp they want and to pick up whichever items are there. So anybody complaining of balance or anything else like that, you've got the same exact opportunities. You went for those. You got the legendary cards because you're willing to be aggressive. You got those ultimates built up.
You know, that was far from clean for them. You know, Ash, this guy right here, Tirodin, actually went down during that engagement. You saw on the kill feed a friendly frag, but that just put him into the down but not out chicken state. He was in fact revived by Lionheart. Joe was doing enough to keep them at bay for him to get that off.
Ash has relatively bad cards.
Yeah, she's just got the epic
Joe is
boots.
loaded up, so as long as they can keep Joe firing at those people. Of course, if I was Joe, I would still give him that armor, but you know.
If it comes down to it, look at that.
They found the straggler.
But it's one. This poor Victor by himself. He engaged alone. He has teammates here, but he just doesn't stand a chance. The battle standard Planet Ash ready to make a stand here on the hillside, fighting off these would-be onlookers and the easy peasy lemon squeezy. And Joe with a BM barrage. Hello?
Well, he probably was trying to make sure that things were taken care of.
Wow, look at the loot.
Thanks.
Yeah,
There is so much loot concentrated in this
anything
area.
that has a green arrow in the loot, you want to pretty much put in. That means it's an upgrade to what you have.
Okay.
There is an upgrades available for this Ash. She's just picked up epic gloves as well as an epic weapon slot enhancement. 20 players remain.
Yeah.
11 have fallen.
With the other team was that Victor got caught.
He was the first one there. They didn't realize Joe's boys were up on that hill.
And Victor got caught instead of being behind the tank.
Ideally, Fernando would have cleared the area. I mean, when you see, I think that was 3 full teams that Joe engaged with. There is, of course, exactly that many chests scattered around the field. 2 legendary chests as well. You know, this area is hot. 2 players so far that we've seen. Ash doing a great job creating space for Joe to move in. Grenade goes out. Joe with a nice straight pattern.
Look at that.
Deletes that Vivian, and she's trying to heal up that chicken. You're going to need to press R2 more. Fall to the onslaught. That is Hi-Rez Joe. He's going to let him know. Go right on back to firing. Quick check of the items here, but there's only one thing that Joe lacks. That is the mother load. The legendary weapon slot attachment is the only way he can potentially get better.
That's 100% more damage.
You don't want that. He's got 50 right now. Look at the work he's doing. Mirage incoming again.
Oh,
he's looking for the target. He's looking for it. Can't exactly get it on there, but he will retain 60% of his ultimate charge. Already back to 83. One of these items is providing him with a morale boost type effect from the item store that you're going to be able to recognize striding through this EV. She doesn't have much HP to give. Joe disengaged from his squad right now. He's a little bit of a lone wolf, but that is in fact Victor's title, so he's living up to what he believes, but he's just run into 2 players. Joe not sure if he wants to take that fight. He's going to drop the grenade. He's going to back off, look for a different angle. In fact, go in behind his Ash. Barrage incoming again. The goggles at the ready. This poor Victor crushed under 4,000 plus damage of artillery shells from the sky. Quick check there, Joe. No mother load there. So he's going to be just fine. Joe picks up another big frag. And actually, Ash, that's an upgrade for you. Open that loot chest again. You see the green arrow there. It's quick swap out. And now just like that, Joe's frontliner has 4 epic item slots. Only upgrades are now coming from those Zeppelin loot crates.
And other players that have collected them so far. So
Correct.
There is probably another team out there that has a lot of legendaries, and it will come down to typically the strongest teams at the end. And there's a legendary. I don't know why that was not picked up, but
this is a big engagement coming through. Ash going into that ultimate. Joe doing his best to engage. He's about half HP. Gets around behind the wall. Throws out the grenade. 17 streak. Lionheart and he holding it down there. Ash, their frontliner's so low. Joe's got to hold this angle. They're pushing. They don't want to let him go for free. Joe getting close to another barrage. It might just take that. Ash pushing in, but has she gone too far? Joe is not exactly healthy. He's going to eat another grenade. 14 another barrage. It's just not enough. He gets around the corner, but Lionheart has fallen entirely. So has Ash. Joe, 9 players remain. He's running up to the high ground. He's going to try to get on his mount. He's going to go for the disengage, but he's taking a risk. It doesn't pay off. Joe is put down.
So,
and boy, oh boy, are they going to be happy when they check his loot chest.
Oh, that's going to be a loot chest. Now, the other team probably had some fairly decent loot, or maybe they just played together a little better. They were a little scattered. I didn't see Ash together with...
yeah, they didn't exactly engage cleanly there as well. The other team had their ultimates just ready to go when they engaged that fight. This poor Victor is all alone. We know that as a team that took down Joe of at least 3 players. So that's something that needs to be considered here, Victor.
There's only 7 players left.
So
right
players
now,
remain. This is one of them. At least 3 from that other squadron.
Well, that's a solo player. So we know that the other 2.
This is a 1v3 minimum. V3, potential 2v1, potential 1v2 are our last combinations we could be looking at.
And that Victor's just hiding.
However, he's got some decent gear.
Yeah, he does have 2. Is it 2 legendaries?
One legendary, 2 epics.
2 epics.
And a blue, and his barrage. So this Victor stands a chance. Now his best option is to wait for hopefully what is 2 other teams of 3. We're going to have a 1, hopefully v3. That's 2 players there. So
okay,
that
so there's a
means
2-player team.
it could be a 1,
a solo,
v2,
a 3,
v4. We don't really know.
There's no 4. There's
See,
no
the team that took
left.
down Joe was at least 3. Could have been 4. It could have been 4.
Oh, I thought you said it was a 3. So right now we have a 1, 2. That's
3 players. That's 4 remaining. Potentially the squad that took down Joe.
Well, there's a 3
engaging now. It was 3 minimum. I only saw a Grok, a Victor, and an Ash. Could be more. Could be less. Fernando looking to engage.
There is a fight.
He's holed up. It's just not a great fight for him. He gets absolutely obliterated trying to fight inside of that building. Barrage makes it an easy frag. Fish in a barrel for Victor. And chances now slim.
Oh, there's a 4 squad.
That is a 1v4. My goodness.
And they're probably stacked with legendaries.
This is what
point.
dreams are made of, though, Ayers. You can't just count them out.
What the solo player needs is the super legendary.
Okay, so let's break this down. Oh my God, these guys are slaughtering 21 frags for this Victor. Jeez. This guy, chance is slim here, boys. Chance is slim. This man
Somebody ready to go pro.
is bloodthirsty. He's been bathed in the fires of the Paladins Battlegrounds. He's got the code green Victor skin. This man was born in battle, and he's ready to take it home for the boys. I wonder, is this our boys up on stage again? They don't look very. They don't look very focused. Out in the Expo hall, we got some points. Jeez, the Nick Bashore masks giving them powers untold.
Where's the match?
There we go. Take a look at those ding-dongs out in the fog.
I think they found the last person.
They did. He's out in the fog
He's
behind
hiding.
the
He's
trees,
trying,
and there it is. You just can't
There's a very excited crowd back there.
20
Very nice.
to bomb.
Congratulations. Come up to the stage here, and we will give you your
Not
freebies.
only a free lunch, you just earn your keep.
There is such a thing as a free lunch.
When Nabil's around, anything is possible. We'll give them their 4.
And I think we have time for at least one more.
Coupons for their game merch. We got plenty of time here.
We're going to queue up for another match.
Start at 12:30. It is 11:47 a.m. right now, and you know what that means.
Another match is coming.
It's time for another match there, brother.
We'll see what characters play this time.
Here they come. Oh, man. You know, realistically, I mean, we got to ask for more from Coach Bitey. SK, the captain of that squad, He's been fragged out twice now, I don't think without bringing a single soul with him. Just an absolutely
that was scary.
dismal
Oh
performance.
my God, you guys are freaky.
It's a little, Eris, careful what you say. This is one of your employees' face, all right?
In the game.
Huh?
The entire game.
You wore this mask the
No.
entire game.
Okay.
They're essentially Spartans. Their helmets had
They are-
narrowed their vision. Their
they are
targets were
scaring me.
far, but
Guys,
it did not matter.
1, 2,
Okay,
3.
question for our
4,
winning squad.
and the free lunch has got to come.
And the free lunch.
And the free lunch.
The coupon as well.
There is a free lunch.
Who had the most kills? I saw
Beautiful. Whoops, sorry
21
about
on
that.
that victory. Did you guys have about equal? Everybody participated in every frag. 22, was that the number? 21, 22 kills. 20
Very
bombs.
nice. Was
This
it fun?
squad,
Was it fun?
they had a
Excellent.
blast. I mean, look at those smiles on their faces.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they're plastered on. These guys, all smiles all the time. They look like they could be quadruplets. I mean, what
This
a gang.
this is the making of
This is how
some
you
kind of pro
build-
team.
This is how you build
That's
team
what I'm
synergy.
thinking.
This is team synergy at its finest. Gentlemen, congratulations on the game
We're
2
gonna
victory.
I'm going to take a shot of them
Cuddle
here.
around, make out on stream. I don't know if Twitch allows that.
Are you
I
guys
have one
playing again?
simple question for you. Are you queuing up again? Absolutely, they
Okay.
say. A hard knock.
Then get
over
back to
there,
your
boys.
spice, 'cause
Back
we're
to
ready
your
to go.
battle stations. You may have won the battle, but the war rages on here in the Expo Hall. Paladins Battlegrounds, the new Battle Royale Hero Shooter Fusion. Brought to you from the beautiful mind of Eris Gore and the man to my left.
Now, brought to you by all of Hi-Rez.
And the gang. He's humble too, folks. He's humble too. What is Paladins Battlegrounds, guys? It's the hero shooter meets Battle Royale, up to 100 players, last to survive. But it's not a separate client. It's not a separate download. If you've already got Paladins, absolutely free to play, of course, as with everything Hi-Rez. A new game mode you can queue up for within the game once it goes live. And the pot here being sweetened by merchandise.game.
Watching Joe and his group,
Yeah.
we felt like it was fairly invincible. They were taking out teams.
It's hubris. And you know, it's funny because that has taken down more teams at this Paladins World Championship, just the underestimation
you kind
of those
you
out
stop. You're thinking that you've got this. You've just beat 2 teams.
there. Yeah.
No problem. You're feeling strong.
I mean, he's coming in. He's the 2-time back-to-back Joe.
And then you're not
He's
paying as
feeling
much
good.
attention for 1
He's feeling
second.
good.
And
there
over the
it
hill
is.
comes the group that wipes you out.
That was a clean engagement, guys. Of course, they're playing for not just the glory, but these merchandise.game coupons, as well as the free meal brought to you by Mr. Nabil Ishmael, as well as all these cool things. They can take these coupons, they can head over out into the main hall to buy some of this lovely gear. Not only these snapbacks, these awesome hoodies, which I will be buying, both the kind of Letterman jacket. I want this hoodie, and I also want the more athletic, dry fit feeling one. I kind of want it all. I've got this beanies. This is the 4-piece suit brought to you by merchandise.game. I came here wearing 3, but I leave wearing 4. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good.
And you can also get some smart
Can't
merchandise.
forget, we've got
you know.
not 1, but 2 games, World Championships here. Smite,
Oh, game started.
Paladins, Hand of the Gods.
Oh, and this
Eris.
time we have
Who dat
Grover
boy?
and Droxus.
Who him is?
Oh, what are we getting this time?
Joe,
I already see Bitey with a
near
Grover.
and dear.
And Joe wants to be
To
doing
his
damage. So they have healing.
Near and dear to his heart, but this
They
isn't a
kind of
bad
have a
thing.
front line.
They've got range for days.
Yeah. Now, the sniping Grover is something to watch here.
It's a Grove Street party. Double Grover, Ruckus Leon is the chosen composition for Hi-Rez Joe, Bitey, Tyrodin, and HRX 86, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the faceless assassin, following Bitey alongside. Playing the Grover, they'll have great options here. They can park 1 Grover with the back line, that is Hi-Rez Joe and Leon. They have 1 Grover to park with the front line, that is Tyrodin, playing the Ruckus, dropping in for game 3 of the Paladins Battlegrounds Invitational.
And more loot available.
Absolutely. We got a
have
fat stack of loot up here. We're ready to make it rain. We're ready to give out this manny.
92 players
92.
going in.
Suiting up.
1 team of 4 comes out.
So far, it has been a team of 4 every time, so that just goes to show you how important it is to stay together, to stick as a squad, as a unit. This is Hero Shooter meets Battle Royale. The composition is incredibly important. There's a lot of talking, communicating to do. Lionheart, not happy with his performance so far. He did a good job. He's playing the support. This man is the unsung hero, keeping Joe alive as he scores frag after frag, as well as that clutch revive of the front line. They wouldn't have made it as far as they did without that big, beautiful man right there.
Maybe if they weren't quite as greedy and gave Ash that legendary.
Maybe. Maybe. She was, in fact, the first. Actually, Lionheart was the one that got caught out, taken down first.
Well, maybe he
Ash
should have
followed
gotten
it.
it. Movement speed
Maybe.
and armor actually on the healer. Very good.
It's not a bad look.
You really don't need it as much on
Ooh-wee.
the long-range character.
That's a lot of trees, Hi-Rez.
That's a lot of trees. Grover seems to be a very popular pick.
I mean, fan
this
favorite. As well as the fact that he is just damn good in this mode. He has damage over distance scaling. He hurls axes infinitely. No ammo, no reload, as well as has a passive healing effect for himself. Those around him can amplify that with a burst heal on a 10-second cooldown with his Q. And, of course, his ultimate, the Whirlwind. He can really hit the gas pedal, drop his axe, lift his hands into the air to provide 2,500 health per second to himself and teammates around him for the duration of the channel. But that is all affected by anti-heal, and we've seen that really throw a wrench into the gearbox for some of these rosters. My God, that's got to be 60% Grovers.
Throwing a wrench into the axe grind.
That is.
Maybe we need a skin where he can throw wrenches.
So,
Plumber Grover.
look at this guy. I like that. I like that he's switching it up. He's not going straight to the hill. Bit of a hipster in the Battle Royale lobby. He's over there.
Yeah.
This spot, the dock, the Zeppelin dock, the Zeppelin port, if you will. Hartsfield Jackson International Zeppelin port.
There's going to be a lot of spring coming.
That spot's gaining in
And here we
popularity.
go. Look for those red dots. You don't necessarily want to be there. Look at that one middle dot. It already,
It's
the
lit.
middle square
It's
already
lit.
has a good 7-8 teams there. That's going to be a slaughterhouse.
This map, 300 times the size of a standard Paladins PC map. You can see the named outpost. That is where you need to go. That's where you need to hunt for the loot initially. Beyond this, once per minute, Zeppelins will spawn, dropping legendary loot crates.
And it's already down to 85 people.
It's already down. Not for the weak.
84. They're dropping fast. And
I
why?
mean,
There was literally 6 of the groups, I think, dropped within fighting distance of each other.
And that red dot signifies a whole squad. So
A whole
that's
squad.
4 people in that area. 6 dots, 4 people. That's quick maths.
Look at the start. An epic right off the bat.
And that's good for Joe
And that's
Leon.
a damage epic, I believe.
He loves him some Leon.
So that, yeah, that's a 50% damage increase already that his character will be doing.
Working his way from chest to chest. Joe
Oh,
with some
look.
big gains early
Good
on.
start. Good start.
Two epics.
2 epics. A couple of other cards.
2
Some
epics.
upgrades to
There
the
it
boots.
is. Okay, okay. Every little bit helps. Damage reduction in this mode, traditionally split between Haven and Blast Shields for direct and area damage in those siege, those payloads, those onslaughts, those TDM modes for Paladins. But in this mode, it is just across the board damage mitigation as well as the damage amp. You might remember aggression, similar effects here in Paladins.
There's a lot of
Battlegrounds.
aggression in this mode.
There is a lot of aggression, and
And
it's
you
rewarded.
can take out a lot of aggression in this mode.
You saw, last round, Joe and his team took a lot of risks. They went for a lot of legendary chests early. Those are all risks. They could have died at any one of those chests. They could have rode up to one of those chests, and they would have already been looted. A squad with that legendary waiting to slaughter anyone who was just a little bit late. In fact, they were that squad. They were the wolves waiting for the sheep, and Joe and his team of 3 took down 3 teams.
Now, they're not together right now, so it is a little dangerous if they
They're
find
a little bit spread out.
if
Yeah.
another team comes by. And I
They
think,
dropped in a relatively safe area, though. 67 players remain.
yeah, they're getting close.
You know, standard Battle Royale play zone collapsing. The first one's pretty big. It's going to encompass most of the map just to get those goofballs that have chosen to go to the outskirts of the map to make sure that they make it out of the first minute.
I think a feature we'll need to add soon is to see what your teammates have looted, so you get a better idea for team play. What you
Wow.
may still need.
Look at that. I like that little spot that Grover's found up there.
Yeah.
But they
Now
must
it's
press
time
on.
to hunt for some legendaries and hunt for other players.
So talk about the time to kill in this mode versus a more traditional siege, but traditional Paladins PC modes.
It usually starts out a bit more like a traditional Paladins match with a slightly longer time to kill. And then as the match progresses, the time to kill with the stronger cards drops down to some extent.
Okay, so on even footing if they can remain. Players will experience a slightly more
Here we go.
Battle Royale-esque time to kill. Joe, infinite range on the present shot. He's finding some tags, but doing his best to keep this ruckus at bay down in the chicken form. First
Very nice.
frag falls for our stream team squad, and it looks like we saw somebody else. He's got a team somewhere. It's just a matter of where. Joe's going to slide in. Nice shots running through the legendaries. Not yet Joe's, but the frag's
nice
looking
shot.
good. They're finding a lot of damage. Of course, increased damage to shields. Great stuff from them. Joe finds another big drop, another chicken. One more to go. And this Torvald just doesn't want anything to do with this, but unfortunately, he is about to have to face the music. Joe, Bitey, Lionheart.
I'm not sure. The Torvald seemed to
And
be running
HRX
away instead of being in the front line.
86.
That may not have been the best idea.
He didn't have his move. Where did he go? They let him slip away.
He did the escape act.
Slippery old Grandpa Torvald. He'll have to face the music eventually now. Or at the
Half
end
the
of
players
the match.
are already dead.
47 remain. The foghorn will sound in 13 seconds. And the next battle zone, the next play zone is marked. And it'll collapse. I'm hearing a little smack talk up on the stage. And there's a Zeppelin dropping some legendary loot in. There's the horn, indicating that the fog is now collapsing onto the next play zone. Smaller and smaller the map grows until a winner is crowned.
Now they do have to keep their eye in the sky for the Zeppelins, and you want to try to track the Zeppelins before the show on the minimap, because if you can track them, you can start heading in that direction.
Right.
Before your enemies potentially show up.
So everybody will, obviously you can see on Joe's minimap, he can see where a chest has been. They don't know if it's been looted. They don't know if it's not been looted.
Right.
So
but this Zeppelin has a chest.
exactly.
Still, right?
They all have a chest.
It's a little hard to tell.
The ones on the minimap, though, that's a risk to take if you go all the way over there. But
Right,
he's
and
trying to
there's the
shoot
drop,
it
so-
down, and that one
On
landed
the
on the roof.
roof.
Grover, this is your time to shine, Grover.
Grover,
get up there, baby.
Do it, Grover.
Get up there, big bitey. This is gonna be an acrobatic act. There it is.
No.
He goes up for the hot loot. There it is. Can we switch to Bitey's camera? He's making the hot plays for that piece of loot. Oh my goodness gracious. That's a purple beam. Bitey working his way.
There it is.
He had to
And
work for it. Make some noise for Bitey.
Nicely done. He's on top of the world right
He
now.
gets his butt, looks like 3 stories up for that fine piece of loot. And as if Grover needed another reason to be picked every game, you know? He can climb trees, he can climb buildings. Grover,
He could turn into a tree.
Grover SS tier for Paladins Battlegrounds. You heard it here first. Undisputable champion of the grounds.
Actually, it would be kind of amusing to give Grover the ability to turn into one of these trees.
Just
There's a Grover. There's 4 Grovers standing
special
around.
Battlegrounds legendary.
Yeah. There's 4 of them
They
in the
all
spot.
do it around a legendary chest.
And nobody can tell.
If somebody comes up to that chest, they just rip out of their form and
That has to be done.
do their thing. All sorts of evil genius ideas being concocted here on the desk in the Expo's hall.
We're watching Trioden now.
Thank you guys so much for being here and alongside the journey with us. HRX 2018 powered by INEP has been an absolute roller coaster of emotions for us. Paladins World Championship kicking off in 20 minutes. Just about enough time to get to the end of this Battle Royale game. 12:30, I believe, the start time for that. We've got 2 teams left in the tournament. Fnatic out of Europe and Na'Vi out of Europe as well. But an engagement's kicking
here we
off
go.
here. And there's Joe ripping through that ruckus, not afraid to engage. But he's not as tanky as he once
look
was.
at that.
Now that's going to help him out from 2,200 to 4,000 HP. Joe scoops a nice legendary for himself. Bitey's got one. Joe's got one. Epics all around. Things are looking good.
And that
For our
Ruckus
dream
did get
team.
caught out.
Ruckus, careful. Your team is no longer with you. He's trying to get on the mount. This is a good play. He's got to fall back to his squad. Joe has already found a frag. On the other side of this mountain,
They're
will
sandwiched
know-
between 2 teams.
They are sandwiched. They have to commit to one side, frag out. Nice hot swap of the loot there. Joe finding some damage. That's a chicken, so they just need to clean
Nice
that kill
shot.
up. This is perfect. They're right against the Death Fog, and there's
Very
a big
nice.
old axe from Bitey. This is different this time. Bitey drops 2. He picked up a hot legendary loot from the top rope. Grover, the only character in this lineup that would have been able to do it. Maybe Eevee could have gotten up there. Joe with a misclick.
Okay.
His ultimate's going to be completely wasted there. That's
They're in the fog.
unfortunate.
They'll have to come out of it. And here we go.
They will.
There's a lot of screaming going on back there.
They'll get burst up. This is a big
Look at
fight. That
that.
is a 4 Grover death squad. Joe really probably could have used his ultimate in this engagement. Fighting at range may not be in Joe's favor. He's got fall off. Grover gets stronger the further away he is. So Joe, I think wisely, he is pressing the attack here. He's going for a big 990 presence. Gets the vine off, but the axe connects into the chicken form. One will escape. This is an even 4v4 fight turned into a 4v3. Down but not out. One teammate from this squadron. Not in the best spot. Bitey hooting, hollering on the stage. He's got alacrity. He's making contact. They did manage to get him up. Enlightenment Joe drops a big shot into the back line. One Grover pops his whirlwind, but another Grover is keeping the other team alive. They've got so many whirlwinds to go around here as the
Look at
healing
that.
is plentiful. Joe, 98% on the Enlightenment. He's ready. The bell is rung. Kneel down to the princess. Hexafire, all 6 guns. No, one is dropped into the chicken fort. Run, little buddy, run, little buddy, run, run. You need to get away. You need to stay alive. Joe can clean up this fight. The action is absolutely raging. This is what happens, though, when you don't have an anti-heal Odom. Joe, he slides away from his squad. This could be dangerous. He's baited in this Grover away. The whirlwinds are going all around. Dear God, this fight just keeps
revive.
on raging. Joe wants to put it to bed. He drops one. Bitey with the killing blow, and there it is.
Woo!
What a bloodbath. What a brawl. What a fight. But it is Joe, Bitey, Tier Odin, and HRX86, whoever that man is, that come out on top. Dear Lord, 3 enlightenments for Joe in that engagement.
That was a beautiful fight.
That was a hell
Now he
of
does
a
have.
brawl.
Oh, he doesn't have the healing reduction card.
He doesn't. That's why that fight was so difficult for them.
Yeah, if they had the legendary
Grovers.
for healing reduction,
And those Grovers, you got to hand them credit. They
did a good
coordinated
job.
their ultimates perfectly to
Yeah.
just have so much sustain through that fight. My goodness, that was incredible.
that was fun to watch.
That was a blast. That was a brawl. That was a 4v4, even footing. Those guys had a lot of epics as well. That was as true of an engagement as we will see. 2 people brought down. Joe's squad got the revive. They're calling out. They want some blood. Bitey trying to make waves.
And they did get the revive, so that was a critical part.
They did. They
Both
did.
teams actually revived.
They did actually, yeah. We saw 2 revives in that last fight, so it's possible, it's plausible. Joe, 2 more shots. They're going to clean up that chicken. They want to leave that one for now. They're still calling out. There's a lot more engaging to do. 91% on his ultimate. Joe getting pretty aggressive. He's going to get healed up back to full. Tier Odin puts one down. Joe with a slide could potentially get his ultimate charged up. Grok's engaged off by himself. Hexafire, Enlightenment, no connect. Joe with a rare miss there. A Tempest comes out. The healing is real in this engagement. This is going to be another absolute bloodbath. Joe doing his best to stay alive. Whirlwinds coming out. We've seen 2 whirlwinds come out from these Grovers on the other side of things. This could get really engaged, and this is getting hairy for Joe. He's falling lower and lower. There's a big whirlwind from both sides. These Grovers, this is why he's SS tier in this engagement. Joe wants to put this one to bed. He's pushing this Grover. He smells blood in the water. 2 more shots. Enlightenment. Joe, put him down in the dirt.
And
Goes 1. 10 players remain. Joe continuing to fight on and on. The shots raining 31%. Charge back to his next ultimate ruckus, bringing out the big guns. Puts another Grok down in the dirt. They're going to mount up. They're going to continue to press the attack, force this Grover. No escape, no surrenders, no prisoners. 8 players remain.
Woo! You know, I couldn't even talk. I was so stressed after watching that.
That was, that got me
Oh
going
my
as well.
God.
There's another legendary pickup for Joe. The Hand of the Gods, armor pen, reload speed. That's big for Joe. He's running through a lot of bullets. He's not running the precision legendary for Leon, which is a legendary that every time you see Joe slide across the screen, he would reload his clip. He's running the alacrity legend, meaning when he does do that same slide, he's instead just going to connect with 400 damage plus whatever amps he's got going on. And that's part of the PC experience. If you're playing Paladins PC, if you're a Leon main, you know those legendaries. You're going to recognize them as you load into the game. And Joe, he can pick from any of those legendaries, any of those loadout cards, all of the same things.
Oh, there's this is the final engagement, I think.
Oh my God.
There's
I think you
8
might be
players
right.
left.
Oh my God, they drop at least one. She's trying to fall back.
Oh.
Joe puts her to bed. That's his 13th frag. Hi-Rez Joe now keeping this retreating Grover in the engagement. 7 players remain. Joe, Bitey, Lionheart, 4 strong, 13 dead already. Just a matter of time before they collapse the Noose Titans around this Grover. And it's all game Grover as he falls down. That was HRX1. That was the chosen one.
Looks like only 2 players left against this team that seems to be unbeatable. I think they're going to take it this time.
They have certainly proven their worth. They worked hard for this. Oh my goodness. Some of these fights lasting. We're seeing full engagement. Many ultimates coming out. Bitey, he's calling it out. Bitey finds a big frag to put it to a 4v1. He's calling out the directions. Look at the top of your screen. That's the compass. That's how you will discern with your teammates where the enemy players are that you see it. And it is just a manhunt at this point. 5 remain, 4 on Joe's team. 1 poor unfortunate soul. Into the fog goes Ruckus. He'll be okay for now. 15 streak. So this squad has dropped a lot. There it is, Enlightenment!
And very nicely done.
Finishes the game, rank number 1. The 2-time back-to-back has reclaimed the throne. Lionheart, Bitey, Joe, congratulations, as well as HRX86, whoever that is, the Faceless Man himself.
Well, the Faceless Man will be getting some loot.
Faceless Man, come on down here. Joe, Lionheart, Bitey. Come to claim your prize. Come to claim what you have earned. Damn! Those fights.
That was something else.
Maybe we can get these guys a mic out here and have a couple of words with them as we close the show. Our third and final match coming to a conclusion.
Oh my God. That was some team play. I was
come on in here.
Very impressed by that.
Come on up on the
and
box.
I have to tell you, I was literally on the edge of my seat half the time.
Holy
I was literally
crap.
on the edge of my seat.
Hey, coach.
Some beautiful engagements.
Hey, coach. You don't seem pretty worried about that. We're gonna get you mic'd up here in a second.
That was insane.
The dream team. There's the Faceless Man himself. Here, you keep the headset.
Hello.
Have them pass the handheld around. All right, he's gonna exit. Joe.
That's my workout for the day right there.
That's 2 L's, but I gotta say that was all worth it. What a game! What engagements! Right? Those guys were looted. They were 4 strong as well. They gave you a run for your money.
We did.
Oh my God.
Clever comms.
3-4 enlightenments out of you in those engagements. That morale boost item paying big dividends.
I'm not processing the game. Mid-game, the emotions, you know.
It's an absolute instinct.
It's just beautiful.
It's instinct. And my man right here, were you HRX86?
No.
Or were you Tier Odin?
That was
Lionheart.
He was late, so I didn't change his name.
All right, my man. HRX86. But you were with these guys all 3 games.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have fun? I mean, talk to us about it.
It was awesome. I mean, I think we're at a bit of a disadvantage because we're up on the big screen, and then we're shouting to each other backstage.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
We didn't have any comms.
There was a next level comms there. We just shouted like, "Get him! Get the Grover! Get the Grover!" It was good, man. It was awesome.
Come on up here,
fun.
Mick, as well. And one of our other, leads on this project, Joe and Mick, doing a lot to bring this mode together. That was absolutely insane. Lionheart. So you were HRX86. Give him the mic here. I want to talk to him, ask him a couple questions. Who were you playing? Were you Saris and Ash?
No, he was Ash. We actually had great team.
You were Ash.
So the first game I played Ruckus, and I realized we needed a support. So I just devoted myself to that. So I played Saris and Grover, and I made it my job to just look for Zeppelins and call them out.
So talk to me about that second game. You guys were doing okay. You lost Bitey early twice. We won't talk about it. We'll get to that in a minute. Pro player over here, all right? But anyway, in that second game, you guys were doing okay. You had some pretty decent loot. But what happened in that engagement when things fell apart? Joe somehow escapes every engagement unscathed, just for the time. He knows when to cut his losses, I guess.
They showed up. They were 4, so it was 4v3, and they showed up with really.
They were 4, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
With really good loot too. So I actually can put it on me. I misplayed. I was out of position, so I got rushed down by Ash, and I wasn't able to properly heal them. I tried to throw an ult at the end for a disengage that got them, but by that point it was too late.
It was too late. It was too late. Bitey. You popped off in game 3, but talk me through game 1 and 2. The coach was just on the sidelines.
Look, you know, every once in a while, you got to make a mistake. You got to get a drop in because you got to do the building of the team synergy. You see, our comms, they weren't working game 1 and 2. I was tapping my ears, but they didn't hear me. And then, you know, game 3, you got to figure, you get the big voice and you say, hey, we got to do down
I
there.
heard you. Game 3, I hear you shouting.
Yeah, I got sick of
Hooting
it.
and hollering.
So you got to let them know.
Let 'em know.
250. Get the plays.
I heard that.
And obviously, game 2, my sprint was button check. It broke.
You're calling out, talk me through. You go up, you guys, you're hunting down this legendary chest, and it drops on the 3rd story of a building. All seems lost, but not when Grover's around. Grover quickly proving himself SS tier in Paladins Battlegrounds. It takes you 2 quick vines.
Look, you just got to do the...
You got to make the play.
Whip. And then you got to
Calculated.
do the pull.
Yeah.
And then you do the flip.
And then you flip.
Then you do the
And then
bigger
what's
pull.
next? Oh, the bigger pull. Wow.
Yeah. And then you up on the top.
Okay.
And you looking down at your team. He wanted it, and I'm like,
Hell no.
good stuff was in that box.
Excuse me, was
Good
that you
stuff.
flipping and pulling your way up here? Nah.
Big box for me on the roof because he
Going to the
wanted all of
coop.
it. You know, streamers,
Streamer
preference.
privilege, streamer loot, you know. You're a streamer too. Borker Nation representing
Nation.
up there on stage. How many frags roughly did we get? I think I saw 13. Somebody had 15 streak going. You guys were dominating. Frankly, there would have probably been more if those engagements hadn't lasted so long. And you got to give credit.
Okay, there was a fight in the middle. I don't know what squad it was. They had 2 Grovers, Grox, and we just battled for about...
I know.
It was
that's
like
what I'm
10
saying.
minutes.
He
It felt
kept
like forever.
ulting.
It
You're
was
seeing-
just crazy.
Talk me through that fight as well with the 4 Grovers. That was a big
Oh my
fight.
God.
Who actually died? Somebody died in that fight, got resurrected.
a ruckus.
You guys
Yeah, it was
dropped.
me.
You
It was
dropped.
me.
You got
It
dropped
was me.
back to life. They lost one as well. Got him back up. So that was a 5-kill fight before you were actually able to put it away. They had coordination too. They were like A, Grover A, ults, Grover B, ults, Grover C, then D, and then by the time Grover D is ulted, Grover A is ready to go again.
That's when we decided as a team, you know, we got to dig deep and get the big voice out and call the target, get the low one.
Oh my goodness,
was
that
insane.
was actually crazy stuff there. What a time to be alive in the Expo Hall. Those engagements, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, baby.
Here is your stuff that you have won. The meals, the coupons, game merchandise. Thank you so much for the lovely prize pool here today. It's been a lot of fun here in the Expo Hall, but we've got more action coming for you on the main stage. The PWC and the SWC need to conclude. PWC up first, Fnatic versus Not as Vincier coming up next.